and welcome to Solutions Plus webinars. Thank you for joining us. Today's webinar looks at how to create user queries. I will show how to create a basic query, to add a where clause to it, to filter out information, to include a sort function, to save the query for later use, and a few other tips and tricks. We're going to create a query to view sales orders. The best way to explain this is through a system demonstration, so I will move now to Business One interface. Let's open the sales order screen. As you know, the information in the sales order screen is stored in database tables and fields. Therefore, to build a query, we need to know exactly where to retrieve this information from. To find out what the correct table and field names are, we can select the View System Information option, which will then show us the table and field names at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Right now, I'm hovering over the customer code field, and you could see that the data is stored in the ORDR table, card code field. Let's look at the sales order number. It's also in the ORDR table. The field name is doc number. The item-related information in the sales order, if I'm hovering over the item number field right now, this information is stored in the RDR1 table in the field item code. So there are two different tables in this sales order screen as we are seeing now. ORDR table, which has the header information, which is the card code, the sales order number, the date, and the total, and the raw detail information, which consists of the item breakdown and the quantities, price, etc. Let's now try to build a sales order query. To do this, we select Tools, Queries, Query Generator option. In the yellow box here, the top left of this query generator screen, we can type in the sales order header table, which is ORDR, and we press Tab. Name and description columns are filled with the database field names, which is, for example, document number, and the description, which is the more meaningful name that we see on screen. To build our query, let's say we want to add the card code, which is the customer code. What we need to do is to double-click on the card code, and you see that the field is added to this select box. So I've added the card code, and I'm going to add the document number. I want to add a few other fields, and let's say that it's not visible in this in the order that is given here. Something we can do is to double-click on the name column, which then alphabetically organizes these field names. Let's say I'm looking for document date. So I'll just scroll down to document and find the document date. Double-click to add it over here. Document status and document total. Let's execute this query by selecting the execute button. So we see a whole lot of data, and we see the closed sales orders, which has a document status as C, and also the open ones at the end with the document status as O. Let's say we want to add a where clause to view only the open sales orders. To do this, let's cancel the preview, go back to the query generator screen, put our cursor in the where box, and we want to have the filter by the document status. Double click on document status, it starts appearing in the where box. I say equal to, and in single quotes, I type capital O, which is to view all the open orders. I'll execute this now, and you see the list is narrowed down. Only 10 open orders in this database that I'm using today. Another example is, another scenario is to have user input in our query. Let's say we want to view sales orders, which has a particular document total value in a particular range. To do this, it's again a where that we are doing, a where clause. So we're going to view all open sales orders. We are also going to add a document total condition as well. So I'm going to have to type here and I say document total. Select the conditions button at the bottom right of the screen. And condition is equal. Sorry, condition should be greater than. Just delete this. Greater than our first variable, which is variable 0, and the document total. Second condition is smaller than, and our variable, the second variable, which shows here as 1. So let's try and execute this query. So it's giving me enter a selection criteria. So if I select this little round circle icon, I can see all the document totals. So this shows all open and closed full document totals. I can either select from here, or I can just type in. So I'm going to just type in saying 5,000. So I want to see all open sales orders which have the value less than total document value less than $5,000. Say OK. So the list is narrowed down to these 6 sales orders. So let's now try to add a sort function here. So let's say we want to sort by document date. As you can see, we have the document date here in this in the posting date column, and they are in various orders here. So let's try and let's go back to the query generator, and let's say sort by. Let me add document date. Let's execute to view the results. So the document date is now ordered for us. It shows posting date. So let's say we want to change the column heading. That can easily be done by selecting this edit mode in our query. We put the cursor near the document date field, and then we type as within single quotes. We type document date. Close the quotes. Let's execute this. Give the criteria. And you could see that the column name has changed to document date. Let's assume this is the results we want, and we want to execute this query at a later point. For this, we will need to save our query. To do this, we can select the save or save as options. I'm going to click on save as. It will take me to the save query dialog. I can put in a query name. Let's say open sales orders. And I select a query category. So I'm going to say it's going to be the user query category. And I would say save. So let's try to retrieve this. For this, I'll just close all my query generator information. To retrieve, I have to go back to Tools, Queries, User Queries, and it has my open sales orders. with my user input criteria. And I'll say OK. And it gives me the results as I've saved it before. Let's now add a different view to it by connecting two tables. So I'm going to connect the sales order row information as well. So I'll go and quickly build my query again. So I'll go back to query generator. I'll add the sales order header table, ORDR tab. I get the fields there. And I also add RDR1, which is the sales order row information table. Type RDR1, and if I tab, now it's going to start showing the fields in that table. And you can see that the system itself has done the necessary connections for us to retrieve the information as we wish. So I'm going to go and build my query again. I'll go select ORDR, where I can view all the header information. I'm going to add the card code, document number, document date, document status, and in the detail table, which is RDR1, I'm going to add the item code. So I select RDR1 in this panel on the left, and then I add in item code, and let's add item description as well. And I want to only view the open sales orders. So I need to add the where clause as before. Go back to ORDR and I say status equal to, within single quotes, the letter O. Let me execute this. And I've got my results for all open sales orders. Now you would see that there are multiple lines for a particular sales order. This is because there are different items connected. So I'm going to drill down into this sales order 456. You can drill down by clicking on the golden arrow. You would see that this has 4 lines in the sales order screen. And the query would also have 4 lines on this end. It's lines 16, 17, 18, and 19. I'm looking at the sales order screen now, and I'm noticing that there's one line, one item that has been already delivered. So the line is closed. For us to have a look at that, we can see the row status field, a row status column in the sales order, it has a status closed. So how can we view this information in our query? Let me go back to my query generator. Now I'm going to add the line status. So I'm going to select RDR1 again, sort my columns, and I find the line status field. Found it there. Put my cursor at the end of my select box, and I double click on line status. Let's have a look at the results that we see. Execute. See at the end, you would see the row status column has now appeared. We're also able to filter the information that we want to view in this query preview by selecting on this filter table icon at the top of the screen. So if I select on that, I get all the columns, all the fields that I have in my query, and I can select the row that I want. So I'm going to say equal to, and I will say 456. I'm trying to view the same sales order as before. Filter, and it will show the items for only that sales order to get the row status. Cancel this to view all the information. So if I want to view or refresh my result, I can just press execute again, and all the results would come too. You can also click on the copy data button and paste it in Excel so that you can continue your analysis in Excel if required. This brings us to the end of the webinar on how to create user queries. Thank you very much for your time. We would like you to add any comments or questions in the feedback field that you will get when the webinar is completed. The recording of the webinar will also be shared with everyone and also online. So you go and have a listen to it as well, and also a link to sign up for any future webinars that we would have. We'd also like you to email us your suggestions on potential webinar topics that we could address them in coming months. If you wish, you can directly send me any questions. My email address is here at the bottom, nilio@solutions-partnership.com.au. Thank you once again for your participation and time today. Have a good day. Thank you.